I just read the first line of this DM dilemma. It's why I want to line out of an Allison. It cracks me up. It just says, how do you deal with the blissfully unaware?
How do you?
Oh.
We need help.
Stacy goes on to say, I'm a bartender and assistant manager at a restaurant. Our marketing person works from home but has to come to the restaurant once a week. She gets a free meal and hangs out the bar with her laptop whenever she comes in. And every single time she continuously complains about how hard and stressful her job is keeping the social media pages update and managing the website and email blasts. It's frustrating because while she's sitting there, the rest of the staff are running around nonstop and handling customers. The whole staff complains about her. If it was one of my servers or host and not someone in their own department, I'd know how to address it. How can I address her comments without sounding like a jerk? What do you think, Allison?
I think you ignore it.
Do you really?
Yeah, because, if she's in her own department, you really don't have any say over it. And, just know your tribe is your people that you work with every day. Like, if you want to turn it into a game, like, how many times is she going to do this? Maybe take little, bets on it, or, somebody owes you drinks after work one day if you win. I don't know. But just try to have fun with it, because you're not going to change her. She is going to remain blissfully unaware.
But, so my advice is not going to be that. Normally, it would be just be passive aggressive, be like, oh, really? Are you busy? Are you? But that's not going to work because she's an idiot. She doesn't understand passive aggressive. You have to go aggressive. You need to, the next time she says how stressed out she is making a Facebook post, you need to say, we're all busy. Say it like that. Everybody's busy.
I think that is only going to make it worse, because then I feel like she's going to feel the need to justify even more. She's going to double down on how hard her job is and that she's got it worse, or at least as bad as everybody else. She's not going to be able to put herself in the shoes of I'm actually having to run to a table. I've got a customer telling me, you got my order wrong, and then I got to run back, and then I got to fix that check, and then she just can't comprehend that, I don't think.
I will say one of my favorite things about working here is we don't really have these people here who are constantly talking about how, I'm so busy. But there's nothing worse than people who talk about how busy they are all the time. And it drives me crazy.
We have worked with somebody like that who was in charge of everybody. And literally all they did all day was talk about how busy they were, how many fires they had to put out.
Yep.
I'm so busy.
Fire Marshal Fitz. Yeah, absolutely. It was a... Anyway, but I've worked with people like that in the past, and I have had to say, we're all pretty busy. We're all pretty busy.
Did it work, though? Did it help? Or would it be better to just let it roll off your back, ignore it, and she can live in her bubble, you live in the real world?
It made me feel better whenever I was aggressive. So that's good for me. But yeah, there's nothing that drives me more crazy than or people who think because they're busy, everybody else should be busy too.
Oh,
you know that?
Yeah, those people are horrible. But then they're always going to have that attitude of nobody is as busy as me.
Yeah, exactly. It's well, fine. Just
what do you think? Problem.
What do you think stressed Stacy should do? Here's the situation in the DM dilemma. Stressed out Stacy wrote us to complain about the marketing director at her job. I guess Stacy's like a manager, bartender type thing at a restaurant, and they have a marketing person who has to come in once a week and work from the restaurant. Now, work for her is just sitting at her laptop at the bar, gets a free meal, kind of chats, here's what's going on, while everybody else is running around. And I guess the marketing person put up a Facebook status the other day and was complaining about how much work putting up the Facebook status was.
I think she's just blatantly complaining to all the servers anytime they have a second between rushing through tables. She's I'm just getting these Facebook posts and getting the email. It's so stressful.
And the people who do actual labor for a living there are really? I got four tie tops right now, and they're all complaining at me.
Yeah, my dogs are barking. What about yours that have been, comfortably not stood upon all day?
Yeah, you propped your feet up on another bar stool for the last 4 hours. What are you complaining about? 601-995-1017. People texting in about what Stacy should do.
Izzy, so funny. She texted in that those are the kind of people that think delegating tasks tasks to other people is as hard as being the person who gets the task assigned to them. They are completely unaware of how little they actually do. It's annoying. And she says, depending on the workplace, some places you just work as slowly as possible if they're like your manager. So that way you can just be like, listen, it is hard. But if not, then you just, try to talk to people about it.
It is comical whenever you run into the people who act like, they have, just like Izzy said, like telling other people to do something is the same as doing it. It's like not even close.
They're like, I'm so stressed. I've got to tell Rebecca that we need this, and I've got to tell Joe that we need this, and I'm just so stressed out.
Delegating tasks is way better than being delegated to.
Being the person who's like, hey, guess what? You have to do this.
Mary and Pearl, how would you handle the situation?
So I would say, oh, my God, I get it. Me too. I totally understand. I could not imagine having your job. That's why I got my job. And you just put the fire out right there and then walk away.
Oh, so
Nobody's talking about anybody, and you just kill it, right? Nip it in the bud, like Andy Griffith says.
So you're saying you should feign sympathy for this lazy person who has a much easier job than everybody else.
You know what? Some people are happy being unhappy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, my grandma's like that.
We're not going to feed into that. We're just going to move on and kill it right there.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mary.
No messy.
Hey, Jesse, what's your advice?
Well, they need to work together. Because Stacy needs to realize that the more people the marketing person can put inside those doors, the more money she makes.
Yeah, and also the more stressful her job gets. So the better this whiny, complaining marketing person is at her job, the worse Stacy's job gets.
Yeah, but Stacy had more money in her pocket, though.
This is a good point, Jesse. I appreciate the call.
All right, see ya.
Mary, what's up?
I wanted to chime in on the DM dilemma for today.
How would you handle the situation?
I would suggest, hey, let's swap it up. Let's do you take my job for a day and I take yours for the day. And then at the end of it, how about you write a Facebook post about it?
That would actually be genius marketing. Like, she really could play that off as this is great social media, this is great marketing, and then actually get that girl to be in her shoe. Like, she could do it so under the radar to where that girl doesn't even know what's happening to her until it's happening.
Thank you for the idea, Mary. I would love to talk to somebody if they've actually done that at work, because I've thought before in many jobs, if everybody just kind of had a little bit of a better understanding of what each other's job is, especially whenever it comes to asking for favors from other departments or whatever.
I was literally just talking to a friend of mine where their workplace did this. There were two bosses who were of equal weight. They were just over different departments, and they always butted heads because they had to do stuff together. Yeah. And it was you don't know how hard my job. Well, you don't know how hard my job is. So literally the person at the top was you're doing each other's jobs for a week. You have to do, and he said or she said afterwards, they never were in each other's business. They always were okay, I get it. You have to put up with a lot. I understand you're under some stress. So maybe they really should just switch positions.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of reminds me, and this doesn't really happen here either, but in the past, working morning show jobs, or if I did an afternoon show and I wouldn't show up till 11 o'clock in the morning or noon, people would be like, oh, must be nice. Or if I leave work at 12 o'clock in the morning, oh, it must be nice to be done with your day at noon. And it's you know what? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. But you know what's not nice? Getting here at 4 o'clock in the morning. That stinks.
That 3 a.m. alarm clock really stinks.
It's not so much fun.